Hey everybody, I am making basic sandwich bread and I'm using tahini. So this is a recipe I've done before. Ran out making some more, so you might have already seen something similar to this, but I'm going to make my bread with you guys here today. So I've already got it in the bowl because it takes a while to get out sometimes when it gets stuck in there. And the recipe calls for 8 ounces of tahini. And since this is unsalted and I don't like it salted, or unsalted, I'm going to add about a quarter teaspoon of salt to this. And then it calls for 4 eggs, but since I used a 10-ounce jar of tahini, I'm going to add 5 eggs. So this is, just so you know, 8 ounces, a tahini or nut butter. You could do cashew butter if you don't like tahini. And then you can also do almond butter. And then it's 4 eggs to 8 ounces. And then we'll work on doing the rest. So I'm super excited to hang out with you guys here today. I've got some announcements I wanted to talk about. I've just finished up 2 weeks of a double hitter on a metabolic challenge, and the ladies are having so much good results, and I'm so excited about all the feedback, and I really loved it. And love being able to share my 100-pound weight loss journey and everything I've learned, and as a practitioner, and helping you guys figure out what it is you need to do to optimize your health in your life and your future. Because if you don't start getting stuff organized, like doing things like this, which is easy low-carb bread, making switches and swaps, dupes, whatever you want to call it, to get off processed food, to get off the wheat, to go gluten-free is the biggest health benefit you could do for yourself. And for myself, starting this over 10 years ago, that was a big support for me. At 62, my body's healthy. So I started 10 years ago. Started prior to that figuring out how to get off the weight loss merry-go-round, but I finally figured out how to optimize that. And so excited to be able to continuously share this story and how everything's going well and how I'm building this business and helping other women. Especially what really lights me up is because a couple of the ladies that came into, actually several, which is really cool, other entrepreneur women's coming into my metabolic reset. Hi Deb. And then what was really cool about that is being able to share my knowledge with them, and they've shared their knowledge with me, and it's just kind of like women empowering women. So that can be really exciting. Okay, so I am going to add in apple cider vinegar, and then we'll whip this up, and we can still chat. So if anybody has any questions around starting a low-carb diet, why you might want to start a low-carb diet, how to get rid of sugar cravings and such like that, there's so many things we can do. And like where you're stuck, where you're stalled. And then, I've also got an announcement today that I'm looking forward to talking to you guys about, because it's all about making things happen. And I've got a special fall program happening that I want to share with you guys. So this was 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and a teaspoon of apple cider, and you kind of put them together and they kind of activate. So it gives it a kind of, I don't know if you can see it, fizzy. So it kind of activates the baking soda more. Those are all the ingredients. So simple. And you can whip this up so fast. It's just eggs and tahini. So cool. Anyways, if you guys have any questions, put them in the chat. It won't just be a sec as I whip this up. Whip it up double, let it get big and fluffy. That's pretty much it. So one of the things that we talked about on the Metabolic Reset Challenge, somebody had a question about hair loss. And, going into menopause and hair loss, and, thinking maybe it's just collagen and a really expensive collagen versus, like really have you checked the underlying root causes of why there's hair loss, like digestion. Are you digesting your food? Do you have stomach acid? Do you have the right digestive enzymes to digest your protein so that you're getting better nutrients for hair growth? There can be a lot of things to it. And then are you optimizing protein and getting enough protein to eat? We got to think about all those things. So it's never just one thing. It's about how to optimize our metabolism and our lifestyle, and especially as we're getting closer to menopause. So, I haven't had any noticeable hair loss. I get a little bit of hair in my hairbrush, but nothing like clumps coming out. Could it be because I have fine Swedish hair? I don't know. But I've always focused on nourishing my body and making sure I get the right amount of protein and fat. I'm not about starving. I don't starve myself. I might specifically choose to fast, do a fat fast, do a sardine fast, but I always nourish my body. And even if I'm doing a fat fast, I'm having bulletproof coffee. So there's always things we can do. It's not about going too low calories all the time. And then the problem there is we're not getting enough nourishment for our body to grow hair. So if we're not eating protein, we're not going to have the hair growth that we want to have. So that was one of the subjects we talked about. And another subject that's coming up is cravings. Like, how do you turn off the cravings? That's the subjects we've been talking about too during that is, we do want to optimize protein, but how do we turn off the cravings? Well, we have less cravings and we get more nourished when we actually look at our plate, kind of like a royal plate here. It's going to have your 30 grams of protein, some vegetables, some good fat. And it depends on if you're trying to lose weight or not lose weight. You can have a little bit of extra carbohydrate there. It depends on your body. And when you eat 3 meals a day and you satiate your body with those nutrients, it kind of turns off the hunger. I had one lady that was eating 6 meals a day, thinking she needed to spread it out for more energy, and yet wasn't getting 30 grams of protein at any of her meals. And then what she just put it all together at one of her meals. That's what we did. And she came back the next week all full of smiles, super excited, weight loss already. Think how fast that was. That was so cool. And I'm like, I love it when a good plan comes together. And that's, it's part of my specialty when you work with me is I kind of look at what's going on with you, check what you're doing, check your health intake, your metabolic analysis, find out all about you. And then I'm like, we'll do this, this, and this. And then it always works. And because sometimes we got to move things around, shake it up. And I understand a lot of what you can do daily to support weight loss, your mineral balance, your energy levels, and how to maintain a 100-pound weight loss without gaining the weight back. And so it's all about optimizing it in body composition as well, and always maintaining a metabolism that is working, that's functioning, recovering that metabolism, and getting to the point where, like I like to say, mastering your metabolism so that you're just running like a well-oiled machine, which is what we want to focus on too. We want to make sure that we're getting that kind of health. And it's all about, it's not necessarily like, oh, I've got to go on a diet. I've got to lose weight. Oh my gosh, I've been there. But what if there was a solution and you didn't have to wake up every day and feel that way, right? And so I have that help and that solution coming up for you. I have an 8-week, and actually it's now 10-week, Metabolic Makeover, so you can master your metabolism. We're going to pull in natural remedies for GLP-1 activation and fat loss, and you're going to be able to lose 5 to 10 pounds or more, depending on your body type, and I'm only going to say 5 to 10 because it's only a 10-week period. Some people are faster, some people are slower, it depends on your body. But we're going to have a group session. I'm only taking 6 women, and 6 women who are in action, who want to stay slender through the holidays, not gain weight, and maybe lose a little bit of weight. And this is going to be so exciting. And so this is something that I am doing. It starts November 10th. And if you want the link for this, just type in metabolism in my comments and let me know, and I'll send you over the link. And if you want to pop on a 15-minute call and talk about that, let me know. I'm going to pop this in the oven. Just about 30-35 minutes. Do 30. Always start with less time and then check it. And then, if you're familiar with baking breads, you just kind of tap the top breads and muffin and see if they're firm on top. And then if they're not quite firm on top, you could always use a toothpick to check the middle. But for the most part, when you tap the top, this gets real firm on the top and it's hard to check the middle sometimes, so a toothpick comes in handy with that. But yeah, so you guys got to come and join if you're really interested in hanging out with me, finding my techniques, and really mastering your metabolism for better health. And you want to lose a little bit of weight, correct your energy, stay less, not get so stressed out over the holidays. And the worst part, is when you get to get to Christmas and you get to the end of the December and you're like, oh my God, it's January, I got to lose some weight. What am I going to do? So this way, this program, we're going to go all the way into January. So 2 weeks into January, so that you already have a plan. You're already mastered what you wanted to do, and you're already doing what you wanted, and you already made action plans, and you already have results. And so you're going to be one of the ones who's already not going into the New Year's, what's the word when you want to work? Frustrated and concerned and worried and like, oh my gosh, I got to lose some weight. So you already did it. So anyways, this is going to be a really awesome program. It's going to be on Mondays around 5 or 6 p.m. depending on who's joining, West Coast or East Coast. So we could always adjust that. And like I said, I'm only taking 6 people, 6 kings or queens, whoever is ready to do this. And you're going to get a couple of bottles of some supplements to help with fast fat loss. And we're going to focus on GLP-1 activation, and I'm going to teach you how to turn up your cravings, how to load your plate, how to create your carb code, how to keep your stress levels balanced, how to balance any question you have. You get me for 10 weeks at a really good discounted price. And so there's also a VIP option if you wanted to run an HTMA test and get a metabolic analysis, a special health intake, and the analysis from the HTMA test to help you reset your metabolism with mineral balance. That is a VIP option, and that's going to be a special $199 in addition to the cost of the program. But that program, that test alone is normally something I charge $599 for. So super excited to offer all this, and I loved how the metabolic challenge came out, and my mom joined me. That's good support there when you get your mom join you. And it was a really good way to think about what I did in the past and coming forward and thinking about how to support you guys, because I'm 10 years in to this process. And I'm so grateful that I started when I did. They say the best time to plant a tree was, 10, 20 years ago. So the sooner you get started, then the more you get your metabolism mastered and recovered and working the way you want it. I had one of my participants in the challenge had actually done a Grand Canyon hike before in her 30s or 40s, and she was like, oh my gosh, that was so hard. And she was talking about my pictures, and she'd looked back over it, and she was like, wow, that is so cool. And I mentioned to her, I said, you should probably think about maybe doing a challenge for yourself, or making a health adventure trip plan, and maybe plan that out. Like in a couple of years, you can be strong enough to go and hike down into the Grand Canyon. And it's not that you have to be completely optimized to walk into the Grand Canyon. I actually started it when 10 years ago, before I started keto and my holistic aging adventurously lifestyle. What that told me and showed me was that I was not strong, and that I was weaker, in that I had to build up my body. So I had excruciating knee pain walking down into the canyon. It took us an embarrassing 8+ hours to get all the way down to the bottom. But I hobbled all the way down there because I did want to be there. So that was something I chose to do. And fortunately, it didn't hurt walking up, so that was easier. And we got up in 9 hours. But my last time getting up from that location took me 5 hours. So I'm definitely getting stronger as I hike up. And it's definitely more invigorating and not really so hard as it has felt in the past. And I just that feels really good to know that you can get down into the Grand Canyon, walk all the way to the river, come back up. And yeah, it's not easy, but it's cardio. And I could do cardio, I could do a half marathon, and really felt really good. I'm not one of the ones that could do the running. I don't do running in the Grand Canyon. To me, that is just like supreme athletics. And that's not quite me. I just like to enjoy it. I like to go for walks. I like to go for hikes. And that's how I build my body up. And so that's what you can do too. We can do things like do the swaps and dupes and get low carb. Follow the food bridges. Go to my website and download my recipe book if you don't already have it. Get on my email list. I've got a nice email coming out Saturday morning. Super excited to share it. I put one out every weekend, sometimes 2. If I've got some kind of promotion, I might put out 3. And this is about aging adventurously and living your best life. It's creating the best health you can have in your body by turning off and reducing the risk for disease in your body, which we do. That's what I did. And what else I did was turn off the pain in my body. So not only am I at 62 pain-free, I am disease-free, no medications, and able to stand on my feet all day without pain, get up and down on the ground if I want to, do squats, do jumping. I just did 30 jumping jacks before this call just to get some oxygen into my head. And then I'm going to go outside and soak up some sunlight after this bread is done. But what we have to do is think about what the next step is. Where are you? What is your goal? What is your vision? What's your main complaint? What's your first 3 main complaints? What it is that you need to focus on so that you can feel better. And that's where when you work with me one-on-one, what I would normally do with my clients is we run diagnostic labs, up to 5, and then the hair tissue mineral analysis, so that makes 6. And what that does is it gives you information to figure out how to support your body so that you can heal faster and not spend 5 years guessing or 10 years guessing. You get it done in 6 months. But the precursor to this is my group program. Get started on the diet, get started learning how to get started working with me and getting familiar with me and getting comfortable with me. And then in January, if you want more weight loss, if you want another 10 to 20 pounds of weight loss, you want to run the labs, that's the icing on the cake. So I'm here to help you. And I'm super excited to be able to offer this new group program that I've got coming up. Again, it's November 10th. It's my Metabolic Makeover. It's a 10-week program. And just DM me, Metabolism, and I'll get you that link and you could check it out and see if this is for you. Want to jump on a 15-minute call and talk? Let me know. I'm here for you. And I always have a complimentary 60-minute aging Adventurously strategy call. So if that's for you too and you want to find out more about working with me so that you can get your life back on track, energize it, start losing that weight, and optimize your living, I've got you. I'm here for you. So thank you guys all for coming. If anybody had any questions, go ahead and put it in here. I'm trying to see if there was any questions. Appreciate you guys all joining me. Thank you, Dr. Blazer. Love having you here. Kathy, Daisy, Candy, Sylvie, and Eileen. And I'm not sure the first name of JF. Appreciate you guys all coming. Perry Cat. Yeah, so I will show a picture of when my bread is done so that you guys can see how it came out. I'm not sure how I'm going to eat it right now. Probably just going to put almond butter on it. That's kind of my kick lately. I just like a little bit of almond butter on something. I think I'm needing to carb up a little bit because that's what I've been focused on. But at the same time, I just got my HTMA back. Let me show it to you guys. I just got my HTMA back. And I noticed I was having a little bit of blood sugar issue eating some of my pumpkin muffin the other day. And it shows it on my HTMA. It's really crazy. My chromium is too low. When your chromium is too low, you're going to have more of a blood sugar dysregulation. And every time I stop taking chromium, it drops. And so this is my HTMA. So what it looks like. And it's interestingly, I'm dumping more aluminum. Not aluminum. My aluminum's been coming out all along. It's in better shape. That's actually good shape. That big long black one on the bottom. But mercury popped up and lead popped up, and so I am in a middle of a metal detox. So I'm doing more zeolite. That's something I'm doing for myself. And what I noticed is my potassium dropped, and so I'm definitely hitting up on the potassium, making sure I get my sodium. That's what's really cool about finding out what your minerals are on a hair tissue mineral analysis, because if your sodium's tanked, we're in trouble. That's your adrenals. And if your sodium and potassium are too low, I mean, even walking down into the Grand Canyon, you could have more altitude sickness. Just hiking outside of your area and getting up into altitude, you could have more of a problem. And that's what I had a problem with earlier on, because when I took my first hair tissue mineral analysis, my salt and potassium were really low. And I've been getting them up. I have pickleball electrolytes in here with potassium and sodium and chloride. So it's very hydrating. So good. A little bit of ice in there. So we do need to get our potassium up, and we need to get our potassium balance, or our sodium balanced with our potassium. Make sure our calcium levels and our magnesium levels are good. My calcium popped back up. It's been down for a long time, and now it's back up again. So I'm going to increase my boron, but also my body's trying to protect me because it's dumping mercury and lead. And so now that I'm back on zeolite, hopefully I can start binding all that up and get those out of my tissues more. So I'm probably going to spend the next 6 months on zeolite specifically to try to bind up all that metal and get it out of my tissues. The third stage level of when metals get into the tissues, that's like a third stage detox. And so yeah, that's the goal for me. That's where I'm at with my hair tissue mineral analysis, and super excited to get that all. I love checking to see what I need to do next, and then I need to run a GI map test and then customize and fix what was going on in my gut because of the metal detox I'm doing. I'm more permeable, and then that caused me to pick up a couple of things, and so I'm working on that. So this is what we do. So we always take our car into the shop to get it fixed so that it functions. Well, we got to do the same thing with our bodies, and we got to look at our metabolism as something that we maintain, that we reset regularly, that we remaster on a regular basis. And so it's about really looking at your health as a health hobby, as aging adventurously. And into our 50s and 60s, we need to maintain our bones, we need to maintain our muscles, and we need to have movement. And there's so many things that goes into this, and this is what I live, this is what I teach, this is what I help my clients do. So if you're interested in that, jump into my 10-week program, and let's get you optimized, okay? You guys have a great day, and if you want me to send you that bread recipe, just let me know, and I'll pop it in your inbox. Talk to you soon. Bye.